Well, hey folks, Ted from Immersion here, and I have some things that I'm very excited to share with you. And while I don't have the production boxes, that's not really what's important. What is important is what's contained right in front of me, and these are the new WizKids Boneyard line of minis. A lot of you have been talking about these for a while. I have a whole bunch of those from WizKids to show off, from the sets in the influencer box to these two Dracoliches, as well as the promotional stuff that they're sending out if you go ahead and order through D&D Mini, and I'll talk about those in a future video. So, first off, up front, I have right here in front of me is the adult Blue Dracolich, and here in the smaller one is the adult Green Dracolich. These are the premium sets that we're going to see as part of the Boneyard line. I believe this is the first time ever that we've gotten two things as part of the premium line. Usually we only get one mini or maybe a set of terrain or some sort of encounter specifics. This is two separate Dracoliches. So I don't know if this is tied to an upcoming adventure or not, but if it is, it's going to get interesting. Let's see. They all have the clear bases that we're used to seeing. And then each one is retailing currently for $69.99. So these are set to come out let's see, that's March 2021. So pre-orders are available. I'm on the D&D or the shop.wizkids website currently, and it looks like pre-orders are still available, so keep that in mind. With that being said, let's take a look. I'm going to speed this up, but I already cut the tape and everything, and we'll bring it in close in a little bit. But let's take a look. Well, I guess there was no speeding up necessary, but holy shit, this thing is awesome. Oh man, look at this. All right, let's get like a standard. Here's like a medium-sized mini compared to this guy. And this is, I think, one of the first ones in a pre-painted where we're getting an attached breath weapon. It does not look like the breath weapon is removable, but man, look at that. It is epic. You've got all of just what you expect from Dracolich, the sort of rotting flesh. The tail is probably, and I'll bring this in close, but you can kind of even see it. It's like vertebrae along the tail here. And then plus it's got the lightning breath. Awesome, right? That's just epic. And then the same thing with the Green Dragon. No assembly required, no parts to manage of any kind. Unfortunately, our green one does not have a breath weapon attached to it. But this one, they're both being listed as adult. And, you might think differently just based on the size, but remember that this blue one is sort of raised up on its tail or it's flying, and that's why you've got this sort of large clear plastic base, as well as here is our Green Dragon. And I think I'm not really sure which one I like better. This one still kind of feels vaguely Blue Dragon-ish, whereas this green one, there's like no trace of green. Like you still have some blue here on the wings, which is part of a Blue Dragon's wing design. They have the kind of blue splotches on them. And there is not a shade of green on this Green Dragon. It is all black. You can see like the spine and the sort of vertebrae along the back and the sinew and the muscle and the arms. These things are amazing. And this is leaps and bounds above what we had seen in the past in the form of Dracoliches here. So these are the two newest ones, right? I'm going to grab you. I have one of the white Dracolich, which was a premium mini from an earlier set. I want to say it was the Out of the Abyss, the Rage of Demons set. And I'm going to grab that and show you what it looks like. So, give you a little bit of a comparison. This is the, quote, white Dracolich. It didn't have an age tied to it, but this is obviously significantly smaller. The bases are exactly the same size, but look at this adult Blue Dragon compared to this white Dracolich. This is very much what falls into the older WizKids mindset of the minis that they used to design, where the giants were the same size. They were all large size in the first run. So this one we're phasing out in my mind in favor of these epically detailed, amazing new minis. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the camera in close so we can just take a look at how fantastic these things look. All right, folks. Well, here you can see, I can barely get this thing in frame because it's so epic, but I mean, just take a quick look at the details. I turned the brightness up to really show off the details, and we'll zoom it in here. But man, I mean, this thing, just look at like the sinew and like the bone along the spine. And well, again, we'll zoom in to get you a really good look, but it's just wow. Here, let's get in a little bit closer here. I mean, look at that. The rib cage, everything's showing right there. And here's what I was telling you about the tail. Look at like the vertebrae here along the tail. We can kind of show off the back here. You can see again where the muscles poking through down along the spines along the back. You can actually see, you know, through the wings and see the inside. I mean, just look at the detail on sort of the rotting flesh and whatnot. I mean, even the, you know, you take a good look at the face where the skull and, you know, the eye sockets used to be all along here. You can see that rib cage. This is just fantastic, this mini. And I mean, it's kind of washed out because of the brightness, but you've got the sort of the blue of the lightning breath. Very cool. All right, let's take a look at our green dragon. Now this one, we're actually going to have to tilt the camera down a little bit because it's a little bit more squat and low to the ground. But we can get this guy pretty much fully in frame here. And take a look. You see what I'm saying? How there's really, it's almost gray as opposed to green. But look at this. You can see like the skull coming through in the face. And look at, you can see right here, the wings and the muscle kind of peeking through. If we turn it, oh, look at the side. Look at that. Right under here, you can see the rib cage, the sort of thigh and upper bones coming out here, and then on the lower side of the tail. And then we can turn it around to the back, and you can see the rib cage along the back here and up along the sides. I mean, and down here, this is pretty much a full skeletal leg. And then again, the tail on the bottom here. Skeleton, we've got a little bit of muscle, a little bit of flesh. I mean, these things just look just awesome. I mean, I don't have any encounters planned in my campaigns for an adult Blue Dracolich or an adult Green Dracolich, but you can bet your ass I'm gonna make one because I need to use these. I didn't even notice that this whole front leg is also basically fully skeletal. And I really like this because I feel like this really lets the WizKids folks sort of stretch their creative limits when they're designing these minis, because you can just do so much and how you're going to handle this, right? Like we still have all of the flesh along the wings, whereas if we were to kind of look, like it's all down to the bone here on our Dracolich. It's all bone rather than like bone covering flesh. Just epically amazing minis. I can't say enough good things about these two. So once again, a huge thank you to V and the WizKids team for sending over the Boneyard minis and several other goodies for me. I hope you don't mind these mini unboxings, these WizKids style videos, because I have, not only do I have these two Dracoliches, but I have a whole bunch of the different minis contained in the Boneyard set. I have the two promo figures that you can get by placing orders through dndmini.com. I've got the new set of Icons of the Realms, the premium figures that are pre-painted of sort of the hero characters. I think I have an adult blue dragon sitting over there, and about 7 boxes full of their terrain warlock tiles, this time showing cool things with curves and corners and stuff like that. So I have a bunch of fun stuff coming from WizKids on the D&D side to show off for all of you. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you again to the WizKids team and V once more. And thank you to my patrons over on Patreon for continuing to support me and the channel. I will see you all next time.